will be stored? That is the question. Okay, in general, how it will be stored? How it will be stored? Indexing, by using indexing. Like suppose apple is there, then we will be having like this, isn't it? Index starts from 0. So index starts from 0 up to n minus 1 if the length is n, right? Now how this will be stored? That is the question. How this will be stored is, in order to remember that b should come in the next line, there will be one character called new line character. Okay, like yesterday we have discussed like this, right? Okay, this is the enter character we have. Similarly, there is one new line character called slash n that we will denote with slash n. Okay, that slash n will be stored. Like you consider this kind of cells will be there, and A is here space will also be stored. Please try to understand. Space will also be there, that will also occupy one cell. A space, then E means I, S, then again space, then A, like that it will be stored. After that, after completing, we will be storing dot as well. That dot also will occupy one cell. Okay. After that, what we have to store? New line character. New line character. That enter is nothing but new line character. Whenever it stores new line character, then only whenever it is reading back from this memory, then it could able to sense that B should come in the next line. Got it? So after this dot, that after this full stop, okay, new line character, that new line character will be stored in one cell. After that, B will be started. This particular one will start. B, then space, then is, like this it will continue. Length will be changing, yes. Length has to be changed. Okay. Yeah. Now, did you understand what's the functionality of triple quotes and what's the functionality of double quotes, single quotes, all these things? Yes. Now, as we have mentioned, we will not be having any character in Python. Okay, character we will not be having explicitly. So how we can represent character? Suppose I wanted to use only A, then how it will treat? That also it will treat as a string only, even though if you specify one character, it will consider as string of length 1. Like that it will consider. Okay. Next, as we have discussed, suppose this is the string S. How we can access this L? S of 3. S of 3 will give L. Okay, that is fourth character. Got it? Next, S of 2 P. S of minus 2. S of minus 2. Whenever we use minus, that will indicate indexing from right side. We have to count from right side, and we have to start the counter from 1. That you keep in mind. Okay, although we are starting from 0, here we have to start from 1. Why? Minus 0, we cannot distinguish minus 0 plus 0. That's why 0 we will be using only one time, that is when we count from left to right. Right to left, we will be considering the counter from 1. So minus 1, minus 2. So or you can consider the index like this: minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Got it? So now S of minus 5, what will be returned? S of minus 5 will give A. Got it? Next, now let us consider one simple thing. We have some string like S. Okay, how we can represent string is by using C section. Suppose okay, this is a string. Okay, S is a string. We wanted to print this string. How we can print? Print function, directly print of S. Then we could able to print. We wanted to print these all characters. Straight away we can use print of S. That's it. Okay. I wanted to print a specific character. Then print S of some index we can use, as we have discussed earlier. S of -2 means we will be getting E. Okay, it will start from here -1, -2. So E we will get. Now I wanted to print first 4 characters. Try to understand. I wanted to print first 4 characters instead of specific character or entire string. We wanted to print first 4 characters. For that, we are having one concept called string slicing. Slice in the sense some piece, right? So string slicing is nothing but from this particular string, we wanted to take one particular slice. Okay. So how in general, intuitively what we can think is, we have to specify indexes, isn't it? Okay, starting from which index to which index we wanted to print? First 4 characters means 0 to 3. Okay, that we will specify. So S of, in general we will specify index. Okay, but we will specify the range. Okay, starting from here to here, 0 to 3. But the functionality of this one will be like, if you specify 0 to 3, then it will consider the characters from 0 to 2. That is 1 less than this. Okay, it will not include the last index. In order to get first 4 characters, what we need to specify? S of 0 to 4. Then what will be the output? 0 to 3. In this example, A-N-I-M. 0 to 4 means 0 to 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3 will be printed. So 4 characters will be printed, isn't it? Like this, we can use S of 0 to 4. What does it mean? It will slice, it will take the slice starting from the index 0 up to 4 minus 1. Okay. Now can we generalize it like S of ij? What does it mean? How it will slice? It will start from the index. It will start from I to j minus 1. Okay. It will print the character. Let us say print only. It will print the characters starting from the index I to j minus 1. Okay. Next, can you able to say we wanted to print last 6 characters? Last 6 characters. Last 6 characters. First 6 characters means how we can say? First 6 characters. 0 to 7. 0 to 7, correct? First 6 characters. 0 to 7 if you specify, it will print from 0 to 6. That means how many characters? 0 to 6 only we have to specify, so that it will print 0 to 5. Okay. So now, what is our requirement? We wanted to print last 6 characters instead of first 6 characters. Now in this example, what we can say? -1 to minus. Okay, you apply here. Very good. -7 to -1. -7 will be this one, isn't it? -7 or -6? 6, right? So the index will be like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So starting from -6 up to what? minus 1. So we have to write like this, minus 6 to minus minus 1 or okay, what we should do? Very good. 0. Minus 6 to 0. Huh? Minus 6 to 0 means you apply here. I is minus 6. J minus 1 in the sense 0 minus 1. That means minus 1. Up to minus 1. Minus 6 to minus 1. It will be. You note down this. Yeah. Any doubt? Huh? Minus 6 to 0. It will be planet. Planet. No, no. We are starting from. No, no. We are starting from. That is the fundamental. We are starting from. Minus 6. What is minus 6? What is minus 6? P. That only will be printed. Got it. 0 to minus 6. How it will interpret? 0 to minus 6. 0 to minus 6. How it will interpret? 0 onwards. 0 to minus 7. Is it correct? Is it giving any? Are we having any range 0 to minus 1? We don't have. It's kind of. Try to understand. 0 to minus 1 is invalid, so it will not print anything. Got it? If you wanted to print in reverse order, that we will see. But by using this only slicing, we cannot do. Okay? So please note down this. These are all examples. Minus 6 to 0 will give planet. Next, this will give anim. This will give 0 to 3 will give. Yeah, this is also small a. Yeah, any doubts from online students?
No, sir.
Okay. Over? Over? That you check. Those all. If whatever the range that we give, if that is valid, like 0 to minus 6, it is invalid, right? So it will not print anything. Okay, if some range is what you call allowed within that, whatever the specified one, then it will print. I understand your. But instead, knowing from me such kind of thing, if you practice it, then it will be it will give more experience to you. You will try other possibilities as well if you start working on it. Okay. Yeah. We are having some string. Okay, let us say example string. Okay, we wanted to print this string means print of s directly we can use. Okay, I wanted to print these characters, whatever the string, which is a collection of characters, right? So those all characters I wanted to print in different lines. One character in one line, next character in next line, like that. I wanted to print each character in new line, like output should be like this. Okay. So how we can do? Here the thing is, we wanted to print single character at a time, single character at a time, and same thing we have to repeat. Same thing we have to repeat. We have to access one character from the string and print. Character from it, print. So same string, same thing we are doing multiple times, isn't it? Whenever we wanted to do one particular thing several times continuously, then we will make use of loop. Already we have introduced the concept of loop. Okay, how we will use in this one we will see. Okay, next, before going to see that loop, let us consider there is one membership operator. Membership in the sense, suppose you are having the string as example and you are having the character like x. Okay, character x. Whether this x is present in this string or not, you have to check. Try to understand. If x is present in this string or not, you have to check. Then there is an operator called in. In is the operator. What it will do is, whatever the thing we have given here, that will be checked against the thing we have given. What is s? S is nothing but that entire string, example. Okay, that is the s. Next, x is nothing but one character or one string. Okay, in Python it is a string. Whether this is present in this one or not, we have to check. For that we will make use of the membership operator called in. What it will do? It will check if x is present in this. If x is present in this, then it will return true. Okay, if x is not present in this, then it will return false. Okay, now if I specify like this, input will be one string and another string also will be taking, let us consider that as c. Okay, one string will be given and one character in our vertical assumption, it is a character. So now these two will be given. Whether this c is present in this yes or not, we have to check. So what should be the output? Either present or not present. Okay, this should be the output. So now how we can write the program? What is the input? What is the input? String and character. So take those two as input. S is equal to S is equal to input of enter string. Okay, that you write down. S is equal to input of enter string in double quotes. Next, C is equal to input of enter character to check. C is equal to enter character to check. Now we have got S and C. What we have to use? In operator. Okay. So how we can write that? If we have to use conditional operator, isn't it? If after taking S and C, if C in yes, then If C in S, print present. Else not present. Okay, like this, simply by using membership operator we could able to say. Next, on the other hand, we are having the requirement like string and character will be given as the input, and if this particular character is not present in string, then we have to print let us say we have to print a string 2 times. Okay, if this particular character is present in the string, then we have to print the string 3 times. Let us say this is the assumption. Okay, the requirement is string and character will be given, and if this character is not present in this string, then we have to print twice the string. Next, if this character is present in this, then we have to print thrice. Okay, then how we can do is, there is another membership operator called not in. Okay, by using in also we could able to do same thing, isn't it? How we can do? If C in S, then print S, then print S. How many times? If it is not there, 3 times. So print S, that's it. Next, else print S for 2 times. That we could do. But by using not in operator also we could able to do same thing. Like whenever C is not present in this S, then it will give true. Not in is another membership operator. Whether C is member of S or not, it will check. That's why we are calling this as membership operator. Okay, whether C is member of this S or not. If it is not a member of S, then it will give true. If it is not a member, then only it will give true. If it is a member, then it will give false. Okay, these are the 2 operators. In is one membership operator, not in is another membership operator. Clear? Yeah. Have you noted this? Yeah. Now come back to our earlier what was the objective? We have to print each character in different line. Okay, entire string if we wanted to print, then directly we can use print of S directly. But what we wanted to print, suppose if we use here simply print of S of 0, then it will print. Next, print of S of 1, then it will print. Print of S of 2, then it will print. Like this, E will be printed, X will be printed, A will be printed. By default, what is the functionality of print is, after printing whatever the specified one we have given, after printing this, it will place the character in the next line. Place the cursor in the next line. After printing, it will place the cursor in the next line. So whenever you print next time, it will print in the next line automatically. Got it? Remember, there is a difference in understanding. Like print will not print in new line. After printing, what it will do? It will place the cursor in the next line. That is the functionality. How we can differentiate is, let us consider we are having print of ABC. Okay, ABC will be printed. This will be the output. ABC will be printed. Now where will be the cursor? Cursor in the next line after printing it. Next, print of S of 0 means E will be printed. Next, cursor will be in the next line. Okay, suppose if you don't have any statements also, cursor will be in next line only in output screen. Next, print of S of 1 means X will be printed. X will be printed. Next, cursor will be here, print of S of 2. Then A will be printed like this. Okay, so we can use several print statements. so that we can print each character in different lines. Okay, this is a naive approach. But how many characters we will be having in this string? How we will come to know? That is difficult, isn't it? How many characters we are having in this particular? For that, there is one convention that we can use, that is length. Okay, what is this one? Length function. Okay, length function. So length of yes, then it will give length. So what will be the type of value? Integer. Okay, whole number only, right? 1 or 2 or 5, 7, like that, whole number. So integer value it will return. Length function is used to find out what is the length of the given string. Okay, suppose if I give length of exam 4, next length of what will be printed? Exam example. Example is 7, next exam is 4, total 11, but space will also be counted, so total 12 will be written. Okay, space will also be stored in as part of the string. Okay, that you keep in mind. So length function is used to find the length of the given string, right? Now up to what extent we have to repeat this? Printf length of s minus 1. Okay, up to that we have to repeat. This is what understand. Now by combining all these things, we could able to write this one. Noted this? Have you noted? If you note parallelly, then you will get more points. Unnecessarily, we will not be passed. No. Over? Yeah. So now again come back to our requirement. What is it? We have to print in different lines. Okay. So S will be there. S is nothing but example. And now we know that there is one membership operator called in. In is membership operator. Let us consider there is a what you call loop called for. For is one kind of loop. Okay, the name of the loop is for. So now what is the syntax? How we can use in this particular context we will be seeing. Afterwards we will see several other things. Okay, in coming classes. Now for some variable we will be using. And the membership operator, and here allowed one. Try to understand what is the functionality of in, whether this one is present in this or not. Okay, whether this one is present in this or not, it will be checked. If it is present, then it is true. Okay, then it will execute these statements. Okay, that is the understanding that we can understand from this syntax. Just before without using for also we can understand this, isn't it? Earlier we have used here if. Earlier we have used if C in S. That means C can be some value that we provide, S can be some value that we have provided. So whether C is present in yes or not, we have checked. Based upon that, these corresponding statements we have executed. Okay. Now you consider for, instead of if, we are using for. Okay. And we have discussed that for is nothing but a loop. For is nothing but a loop. What is meant by loop? To repeat the same set of statements multiple times continuously, then we will make use of loop. So for is a loop, and here we will be using some C, let us say C in yes, C in yes, then it will be repeated for how many times? This is the question. C in yes, C is not given as input, that you keep in mind. Try to understand, try to differentiate earlier example and this one. Here C we are not giving as the input, yes only we are giving as the input. So example we have given as the input. Okay. Now C in yes, for every C in yes, like that you read. For every C in yes, okay, it will be repeated. For every C in yes, that means whatever the characters that we have in yes, okay, one by one it will be placed, it will be considered as a C. Okay, first C will be this E, next C will be X, next C will be A, like that. For every C in yes, for every C in example, we have to print. Okay. Now you tell for that is C, for C in yes. Okay, what is this C? We no need to bother. Why? Because it will take care by this for loop itself. Okay, it will be C will be taken from yes. For every C in yes, we have to print. We have to print. Okay, something we have to print here. Okay, print C in yes. What is the value of C? First value of C, E. I have told you first value of C will be E. Next value of C will be X. Next value of C will be A, like that. So now what we have to print? C. Next time C in S. So next C will be X. So first E will be printed with this. Next time it will be repeated. Loop we are saying, right? So this will be repeated. Because C in yes. After printing this, what it will do? It will place the cursor in the next line that we had discussed. So it will be placed here. Then C will be X, that will be printed and placed in the next line. Then A will be printed. Next line. Then C will be M. Next line. Then E. Then next line L. Next line E. Next line. That's it. Got it? Cursor will be placed in the next line after printing also. Okay, like this. By using this, we could able to print the given characters in the given string in different lines. Okay, is this clear? Just we have used for loop. In we know already membership operator, and C in yes, whether it is present or not. For that we can use when we have this kind of condition. If C in yes, but it will be operated in different way, little different way, like for C in yes, that means for every C in yes, it will be repeated. What statements we have included, those will be executed for every repetition. That's it. Got it? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We have to, earlier we have used with if condition, okay, if conditional statement. So we wanted to check explicitly this particular condition, whether given C is present in yes or not. But whenever we use for loop, then automatically it will be considered from this yes. That means starting from the first character, it will consider first character, second character, third character, like that. It will keep on, it will not check actually. Here we are not checking whether it is a member of C is member of S or not. Whether there exists a member or not, that's what we are checking. For every C in S, we are checking whether we are having something as the member, okay, some C as the member or not, we are checking, that's it. We have a member or not, that's what we are checking. So there exists a member, that is E. After considering this, there exists a member X, there exists a member A, M, P, L, then there exists a member E. After that, there is no member in the string, then this for loop will be terminated. Got it? Just slight difference from whatever the thing which we have seen with respect to if. Got it? Okay. Now write a program to print characters in the given string, by separating with space. Every character in the given string needs to be separated with space. Like suppose exam is the string, okay, input is exam, then what should be the output? E, this should be the output. Got it? How we can print? For this, there is one parameter that we can provide in print function. In print function, in general, we will be specifying string, okay, yes or some message in double quotes, whatever you give, that will be printed. In addition to that, let us say yes, and there is one parameter called end, okay, end in the sense, before going to see this, let us consider print functionality. Earlier we have discussed, right? Print will print the character or the whatever the string we have specified, and it will place the cursor in the next line. That means it will end with a new line character. Try to understand. Every print by default, okay, by default it will end with a new line character. What is new line character? We will specify by using /n. /n is the new line character. Okay. Now, after printing anything, it will execute this. It will end with this particular character. That's why the cursor will be placed in the next line. Okay. But what is our requirement is, after printing certain character, we don't want it. We don't want to end with new line character. What is our requirement? We want it to end with space. So this end we have to specify as space. Okay, within double quotes, space we will specify. So that after printing this yes, it will end with space instead of ending with new line character. So that after printing E, we can give space. Next, after printing X, we can print space. Okay. So how we can write this? How we can write this program? That's it. Same thing, right? S will be given. After C, for C in S, print, what we have to print? C only we have to print. Then comma, end is equal to double quotes. Got it? Then that means one character will be printed, then it will end with space. Next character will be printed, end with space. Like that it will. Next, for example, I wanted to print character by character. Okay, I wanted to get output as exam only. Input is exam and output also exam only, but I don't want to print entire string at a time. Try to understand. I don't want it to print entire string at a time, but output should be this only. Can we do it? End is equal to we should not give. Without space, if you specify, it will not end with anything. So it will print E, then it will not end with anything. Okay, so just if you remove this space here, then it will print like this. Simple thing. Okay. Yeah, any doubt? You have any doubt? Tell. Okay. I didn't get you. Okay. Okay. That function is by default that println that function. No. The println will print present line in the next new line. That is different from this, right? Println. No. Println will print the given thing in new line. Println will print the given thing in system.out.println. That it will print in the new line. Suppose if you give print means it will print in the same line. Suppose if you use here println, this particular one, then it will be printed. That means what? It is differing from whatever the functionality we have discussed with print, isn't it? Got the difference? Suppose you have printed exam, I wanted to print now example. Okay? Suppose if you give print example, automatically it will print example here in this. Okay? Whereas there exam you have printed. Okay? By using print only you have printed. Next, if you print by using println, then it will print in the next line. Println will keep the new line as the first character, right? First character will be new line, so it will place the cursor in the new line only, right? It will start from. Okay, you check. Yeah. Next. Specifically, we are discussing like integer value. Okay, integer is nothing but one type of data. Okay, formally we can say this as the data type. Integer is one type of data. Okay, that is data type. Similarly, if you consider 2.1, 2.4, like this, 2.5, like this, these all are real numbers that we will refer as float type of data. Okay, float, integer. Okay, next, as of now we didn't use any of these words in program. Did we use anywhere? No. Okay, why we haven't used is by default Python does not require what is the type of the value that we are storing. Okay, it will take care of it. Like you consider a is equal to 5. If you consider a is equal to 5, then it will consider a as the integer type of variable. A we are using for storing integer values. Like that it will vertical understand. Okay. Similarly, you consider b is equal to 4.7. Then it will consider b as what kind of variable? Float type of variable. Like that, automatically it will consider. Okay. Now, one unique thing in Python is, okay, it is differing from traditional programming language like C, C++, Java. In those, if you specify one variable as integer, that we have to use as integer only throughout its lifetime. Next, b as float means we have to use as float only. But in Python, there is a flexibility that suppose after certain lines, even immediately also, if you assign a value as 4.9, then a will be considered as float. The type automatically it will change. Okay, it will take care of that. It will not get any error. Whereas suppose b value is 5, then it will consider it as integer. So this flexibility we are having in Python. And if you wanted to know what is the type currently, what is the type of A currently, what is the type of B currently, then we can use type function. Type is a function. Okay, what we are providing as the argument? Variable name. Type of A means what it will print? Float. Type of B, integer. Like that it will print whatever the type of currently it is having, that will be printed. So type of A in this example will be float. This will be integer. Whereas if you use the same thing, type of A here, type of B, it will be integer, it will be float. Got it? Next, there is one more type of data type called complex. That means to indicate complex numbers. Complex numbers. In general, how we will be having complex numbers? Can you tell one example? Huh? Okay, root of -1. How we will represent? Root of -1 will be plus or minus? Huh? Plus or minus 1? Huh? Okay, don't go into mathematics. Come back to complex numbers. Is this complex number or not? That's what. Okay, 2 plus 3j. This is the complex number in general. 4 minus 3j. This is complex number, isn't it? Here we are having real part and the imaginary part. So we'll, in order to consider this kind of data, we are having the type called data type called complex. Okay. Next, what will be the? He was saying something. Assigned value. What will be the, it is not equation to substitute what is the value of j, isn't it? Anytime did you substitute value of j? No. Yeah. Of course, instead of I, we are using j, that's it. Okay, same I, j, same. Okay. Yeah. So now, let us consider b value is 4.7. Okay. We wanted to consider only 4. We wanted to consider only 4 into a. Let us say we wanted to assign a is equal to b like this. What is the value of b? 4.7. 4.7. But a is of type integer as of now. Okay. At this particular time. If you assign a is equal to b, automatically b will, a value will be 4.7, but I wanted to keep a type as integer only. I wanted to assign only 4. Try to understand. 4.7 is the value of B. Type of B is float. A value is 5. Type of A is integer. Okay. Now we wanted to assign B value to A, and we don't want it to change. We don't want to change type of A. So what we will do is, instead of assigning like this is also valid, but what it will do, A value will be 4.7 and it will change the type to float, type of A to float. But if you wanted to consider A as integer only, then we have to convert this B into integer. For that we will use this kind of thing, integer of B, so that whatever the value we specify, that will be converted to integer and then it will assign to A, so that A type will be integer only. Got it? Similarly, you consider A is equal to 4.9, type of A is float, type of B is integer. Now if you write B is equal to A, what does it mean? B will also be float. Same thing we could do, right? Integer of A. In reverse, you consider A is equal to B here. A is equal to B. A value becomes integer. But we wanted to consider A value as float only, so that it has to be, this 5 has to be considered as 5.0 float value. Okay, 5.0. For that we can use similar to float integer. We will use float of A equal to B. Hmm. 4.0. 4.0, if you represent, automatically it will become float. It should be integer, right? Yeah. No, it will consider this. Yeah, integer only in this part. Okay, if you want such kind of thing, there exist several other functions. Okay, let us consider. Okay, let's discuss that. Like in this particular room, we are having something. What is this? Beams. Oh, okay. In every room, we will not be having this kind of structure, right? What we will be having in general on top? On top, what we will be having? Ceiling. Okay. Down, what we will be having? Down, we will be having floor. Okay, some flooring we will be having. Next, some ceiling we will be having, isn't it? So you consider now, there exists a value called 2.7. Okay, 2.7. What will be the ceiling? What will be the flooring? Ceiling will be 3. Flooring will be 2. Okay, that you are on bench. Okay, let us consider bench height is 2.7. So 2.7 to 3 you will go. Seal means. Floor means 2. Okay, now you consider you are sitting on the floor. You are sitting on the floor. Okay, that means you are at height 2. Now what is the seal? What is the ceiling? Even though if you sit on the floor, your ceiling will be same. So ceiling will be 3. Next, consider flooring. What will be the flooring? If you sit on the floor, 2 only, same flooring. Okay, so it will be 2 only. So seal and floor functions we have. Seal function will give the value whole number. Okay, nearest integer which is greater than the given number. Okay, seal of let us say x will give nearest integer which is greater than or equal to which is greater than or equal to nearest number n greater than or equal to x. N is the whole number that you consider. Similarly, floor of x. Floor of x. Nearest number n which is less than or equal to x. Okay, now you consider x value as x value as 2.1. What will be the floor? What will be the seal? Floor will be 2, seal will be 3 for 2.1. Now you consider for 2.7. Floor will be 2, seal will be 3. Now you consider -1. Floor will be floor will be floor will be -1. Seal will be seal will be consider go to the definition. What is the definition? Nearest integer which is greater than or equal to the given number. -1 itself. For -1, what is the nearest integer? -1 which is greater than or equal to the given number. So I think we have discussed a lot. Yeah, here 2 only. Okay, I have discussed wrong. Yeah. So now -1 itself. Seal also. Seal and floor will be same. Yeah, if you give integer. Yeah. Now you consider -2.7. What is the floor? What is the seal? Hmm? What is the definition of floor? Nearest integer less than or equal to x. Less than or equal to x. Less than means -2. Seal will be -2. Got it? Here, although we know the meaning of seal and floor, if we give a negative number, automatically we will do wrong. Okay, so stick to these definitions. Nearest integer which is greater than or equal to the given number is nothing but seal. Nearest integer which is less than or equal to given number is floor. Okay, same thing we will be applying for positive numbers and negative numbers. Seal of 0, floor of 0, 0. Okay, integer if you give, automatically it will be. Yeah, noted. Yeah, any doubt from online people? Nikita?
Yes, sir. Sir, Mike.
Yeah, is this fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, for the first number, we will be having real part, imaginary part. Then j will be there. So we have to take R1 and I1 as the input. Then somehow we will construct a complex type. Similarly, for N2, we will be having real part 2, then imaginary part 2, then j. So these two we will take as input. So how many inputs we have to take total? 4 inputs. Okay, R1, I1, next R2, I2. So these 4 we will take as input. Take those 4 inputs. Write a program to perform addition and subtraction of given two complex numbers. Write a program to perform addition and subtraction of given two complex numbers. So how we will write? R1 is equal to input of enter real part of first number. I1 is equal to, I told you yesterday, R1 should be like this. Okay, it should not be like R suffix 1, subscript 1. Okay, so R1 should be written like this. Similarly, I1. So I1 is equal to input of enter imaginary part of first number. Next R2, then I2, input of enter imaginary real part of second number, enter imaginary part of second number. Like that you have to take 4 inputs. Okay. After taking R1, I1, R2, I2, we have to consider those two as part of the complex number, one complex number. So how we could do is, as we have discussed, suppose if we have a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 4.56, if I wanted to assign b value to a as integer only, then what we will use? Int of b. Okay, what is the functionality of this? B value, okay, b value will be assigned after converting b value to integer. Okay, so to convert the given type into the specified type, we will be using this one. Similarly, in order to convert the given two numbers R1, I1, these two as complex number, we will be using complex. Okay, C small only, complex. Like integer of something means it will be converted to integer. Similarly, complex of two values if you give, then it will consider it as the complex number, and that we can assign to one variable. Similarly, n2 is equal to n2 is equal to complex of R2 comma I2. Okay, now we have got two complex numbers. Okay, two complex numbers. What is the requirement? We have to perform addition, subtraction. So let us consider for addition of two numbers means suppose a and b are two integers, we will be using a plus b. Similarly, subtraction means a minus b, directly we will use. But here complex numbers, right? What we should do is, in general, we could do manually r1 minus r2, then i1 minus i2, then we could able to print. That is one way. Okay, but there is already there exists some support for complex numbers. Why? Because it is default type, right? So it is a supported type. It is not explicitly we are proposing this complex type. It is already supported by Python. So there is support for arithmetic. Okay, arithmetic operation that we can perform on complex numbers. So directly we can say sum is equal to n1 plus n2. Next, difference is equal to n1 minus n2. And while printing, we can specify the names sum. Next, print difference. Simply. Okay. But in order to use complex numbers, arithmetic between complex numbers, we need to import C math. As we have discussed earlier, math, import math means square root function we have used, right? Similarly, C math in the sense complex numbers operations we could able to perform when we import this. Okay, this should be the first line, import C math. Then you can write whatever the input statements we have written, r1 is equal to input, or i1 equal to input, all these things. Then we have to convert that r1 and i1 to complex, r2 and i2 to complex number. Then we will be getting n1 and n2 as complex numbers. Then we can perform directly addition and subtraction. Then we can print it. How it will print? Sum will be like it will give in the form of complex number only. Okay, why? Because sum type will be complex, difference type will be complex, so it will be printed in the form of a plus bj. Okay, so this is a complex number. So so far we have seen how many data types? 3 data types. What are those? Integer, float, complex. Okay, these three, if you consider, all what we are storing, those all are numbers, isn't it? Complex numbers, integer number, whole numbers, or real numbers. So these are considered to be numeric data types. What are the numeric data types that we have in Python? Integer, float, complex. Integer, float, complex. These are the 3 types that we have in Python, numeric data types. Coming to the string data types, are we having character in Python? No. Character will also be considered as string only, string of length 1. How we can calculate the length of the string? By using the function called len. Len, then provide the name of the string. Okay, even directly string also we can provide. Okay, now one thing we'll see now, like addition of 2 numbers you have to write. Completed that one, right? Yeah, addition of 2 numbers you have to write. Just addition of 2 integers. Can you able to write? Easily you could able to write, right? So what is the input? 2 numbers. So a is equal to input of enter first number, b is equal to input of enter second number, then c is equal to a plus b. So we'll be printing c value. Fine. Print c. Okay. Print c. Now the requirement is like we wanted to get the output as, let us consider this a value I have provided as 5 and b value I have provided as 10, and what will be the output? Just 15 will be printed. But we wanted to get the output as sum of 5 and 10 is 15. Like this we wanted to get. Try to understand. Sum of 5 and 10 is 15. We will enclose in double quotes. Okay. Huh? print function. Yeah, print function till is plus hmm, up to half. Hmm. So one thing we could do is like we can use several print statements, isn't it? Print sum of, then you can give gap, right? You can use some another print, isn't it? We can use end empty, that is concatenate. How we can concatenate? Plus sum of plus a plus double quotes and plus b plus c. Here what we are using is plus. Plus is considered to be concatenation operator. Concatenation is nothing but appending. Okay. Suppose we are having a string 1. Okay. Let us consider we are having string 1 as ABC and string 2 as DEF, and I can assign directly S3 is equal to S1 plus S2. What does it mean? S1 will be appended with S2. Okay. This can be done in other way, like S1 dot append function by using S1 has to be appended with S2. What's the difference between first one and second one? This one and this one. What's the difference? We are using function. Okay. Here we are using operator. Then this is concatenation operator. Plus is concatenation operator. Here we are using append function. But the functionality wise there is a huge difference. Try to understand. Although it is performing appending, this is also performing appending. S1, S2, S3, three variables we will be having. S1 value will be ABC, S2 value is DEF, then S3 we are assigning as S1 plus S2. After concatenation it will be assigned to S3. So S3 will be ABCDEF. Okay. What happened here? Whenever we execute this one, if you execute S1 dot append of S2, then S1 will be appended with S2. So S3 will not be created. This S2 will be appended to S1. So S1 will be updated. Earlier we didn't change S1 value. Okay, that's the difference. S1 dot append. Got it? Yeah. Yeah, it will store in. Yeah. The meaning here is this can be understood. S1 is equal to S1 plus S2. Understand? Didn't get. Shall I repeat? See, generally plus operator we call it as concatenation operator. Concatenation in the sense just putting together. Okay, two strings we have S1 as ABC, S2 as DEF. Now S1 plus S2 in the sense these two will be put together, and that one we are assigning to S3. This is assignment operator, right? Equal to means assignment operator. So we are assigning to S3. So S1 value will be ABC, S2 value will be DEF. After appending these two, we are assigning to S3. So S3 value become ABCDEF. Suppose instead of this statement, if you execute this one, then what will happen is S1 value is ABC, S2 value is DEF, then S1 dot append of S2. That means for S1, S2 will be appended. Okay, S1 value is ABC, S2 value DEF will be appended. So S1 value will be updated as ABCDEF. Earlier S1 value was ABC only, even after executing this. Okay, that's it. No, that is not required. Directly we can, this is equivalent to this. Yeah, it will automatically, it will update. Then it will be equal into this. I have written here. Okay, now come back to this original problem which we have started, like not noted, sorry. Print two numbers we are taking, addition we are performing, then we are printing the result. Okay, now we wanted to get a sum of 10 and 5 and 10 is 15. Okay, this is what we have to get. For this, instead of using this much complex procedure, we could, or you consider another requirement in addition to this. We wanted to have, any other work is there? Any other class is there? Okay, if you want, let us take some break. Okay, so now my program will contain like this, two numbers I will take and we will add and we will get this kind of result. Next, another two numbers we will take, again I will print this kind of thing. Another two numbers we will take and I will print this one. Okay, for all those we have to write this kind of thing, right? Sum of plus A and B, like this, this entire thing. Instead, what we could do is, we will store this format, this particular format in one string. Okay, how we will store is like, let us consider this as F. Okay, this is the format, sum of first number we should get, right? So first number, for that I am giving one space, first number, and second number is, then third number. Okay, that is the result. Okay, this I am considering as F. If you prepare this one and keep ready, then wherever we wanted to print such kind of thing, sum of A and B, that is A value, B value, and then C value, three values. So three values we have to substitute here. Next, similarly, next time also again another three values we may get. Next time another three values. Wherever we wanted to print, then we can use this particular F and we have to provide those three values. That's it. Okay, so how we can provide, how we can print here is, let us consider now we are having A value as input, B value as input, okay, C value is equal to A plus B. Now we wanted to print what kind of message? F. So F, but F alone if you print, it will print this only. But what we should print? F by providing these three values, A, B, C values. So F dot, there is one function called format. Okay, F dot format. Then in this we have to specify what is the first value of a first placeholder. This is a placeholder. Okay, A. So A. Then second one B. Third one C. Whenever we use like this, then it will print the result as sum of A value and B value is C value. Like that it will print. That brackets, we are not providing any format, so it will consider as normal string. There won't be any specification. Then only it will check for whether braces are there or not. If braces are there, correspondingly it will put. To understand, you write another thing like D and E also you write. Okay, then F will be the sum. F is equal to D, or you consider D minus, no, D plus E only, D plus E. Then print f dot format of def. Yes. No, that's why I have written another example. We need not use another variable. Why? Because we are not changing f value. We are just while printing f value, while printing we are using this format and substituting this. That's it for printing only. Hmm. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. This variable value we should change. Yeah. Right. This is E. What is this? We can take G. This is E comma G. Okay. Next, here, suppose this particular order changes by mistake, then also it should come correctly. Okay. In the sense, I can say like this is what will be the value, what will be the value. These things we haven't specified. That is our understanding only. Okay. This is indifferent from this. This is indifferent from this, isn't it? But if you wanted to provide some sequence, then we can use here numbers 0, 1, 2, like this we can give some numbers. Okay, 0, 1, 2, like this we can give some numbers. And what is the advantage of using numbers over leaving like that is we can have like we can write in any format, like sum is 2. Okay, sum is 2 after adding 1 and 0. I will be writing like this. Is this correct or not? This will be the f and I will be providing ABC only. Okay, C is nothing but 2. 0, 1, 2. This is 0, 1, 2. So sum is 2 in the sense C value we will be getting. Then after adding 1 is nothing but B. 0 is nothing but A. Okay, like that if you specify these numbers, you will be having flexibility to use in any way. Okay, that is the advantage. That's the difference between using the indexes, leaving without giving any index. You can give indexes 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, and accordingly in the text also you will be having flexibility. Wherever you want you can use it. But if you don't use index, what will happen? You should follow this sequence properly here, then only it will come. Got it? Yeah. This format is also function of string. Okay, string function. Why? Because f is a string, isn't it? F is a string. So that function. So we can use double quotes, and we can specify this entire thing. Sum of within braces 0 and within braces 1 is 2. All those things we can specify. Then format of you can call format of ABC. This is equivalent to what we have considered in this. This is equivalent to this. Print of what is this one? Sum of that entire string we can write directly, and by using that string we are calling the function called format of ABC. So it will be substituted. Okay. How many variables? Any number. It depends upon how many placeholders we have. No, there is no limit. We can use any number. Over? Noted? Yeah. Next, we have some text like okay. Let us consider the text as okay. We have like this. This is the text. Okay. We wanted to convert this to this. So this you can consider as S. Okay. S is the string. So we have to enclose in double quotes. Okay. This we have to, in this particular S, we have to replace what? We have to replace Q by P. So we will call S dot replace. What is the first one? Q. Okay. Q with P. Like this we can specify. Then it will return that S will be updated as Happy Deepavali. Got it? That means in no, directly S dot replace, within this only it will be updated. We need not assign again this to S. Next, I will be giving a string S. Okay, string S. I wanted to print first two and last two characters from this. First two characters and last two characters. First, you know, right? Slicing. How we can print directly? 0, 0, 2. 0, 2. Then this we will print. Next. Print S of last two characters. Last two characters. What is L? You have to calculate, right? So length we have to calculate, then L minus 2, then minus 2 to directly we can use this, right? Without calculating length, isn't it? Minus 2 means the second character, last but one character, starting from that up to minus 1. That means last two characters will be printed. Correct? Suppose I wanted to make these two portions, okay, these two substrings as one string. Then how we could do? S1 is equal to S of 0 to 2. Then S2 is equal to minus 2 to 0. Then then what will happen? Can we need to assign? S3 is equal to S1 dot append. No. Okay. So S1 plus S2. Then it will append. Let us consider we wanted to print the given string middle three characters. Middle three characters we wanted to print from the given string. Let us consider the string as welcome. Middle three characters. What should be the output? LCO. This will be the output. Yeah, for this particular input, LCO will be output. So middle 3 characters. Okay, for the given string, you have to print middle 3 characters. So write a program for it. Write a program to print middle 3 characters from the given string. If it is even, then okay, okay, you do check. You check, then only you do it. Middle 3 characters. So what we should do first? Input will be the given string. So string we have to take as input. Then so S is the given string. So input of enter string. Then we should find length. So L is equal to length of S. Then we will get length. L should be odd. Okay, if it is odd, then only we will print. So if L mod 2 equal to 0, then okay, not equal to, you wanted to check? Okay. If it is not equal to 0, that means it is odd length. Whenever it is odd length, then L is not equal, L mod 2 is not equal to 0, then if it is odd, that is evident, right? From this condition, it is odd. Then how we can find middle position? Suppose the length is 11. What are the characters that we want? 5, 6, 7, isn't it? 4, 5, 6. Here how many will be there? 4. Here how many will be there? 4. Yes or no? 11 is the length. So 5, 6, 7 will be the requirement. So what we should do? Directly you can apply simple logic. From 11 how we can get 6? We can use seal, that is one thing. Any other? Seal, that is a good idea. Simply you could add 1 to it, then you do it by 2. Then you will get 6, right? Yes or no? Whatever the odd number, whenever it is odd, then only we are calculating. That number plus 1, it will be definitely even. So even by 2, we will get whole number definitely. So if you get that one, plus minus 1 and plus 1, that's it. Got it? So how we can get? If it is odd, then let us consider mid. Mid is equal to L plus 1 by 2. L plus 1 by 2. Okay. Now how we have to slice? Now we can use slice. Print. Print S of, from where we have to start? From which index? Right, m minus 1 up to m minus 1 up to m plus 2. then m minus 1 will be printed, m will be printed, m plus 1 will be printed. So 3 characters will be printed. Okay, that's it. Else not possible. Even length. Okay, is there anything new? Don't you know this L plus 1 by 2 slash operator? You know this odd even checking, you know. Next, this slicing, you know. Hmm. Here, when we are calculating m, whenever it is odd, then only we are calculating m. We whenever the length is even, what will be the middle 3 characters? Middle 3 characters we cannot get uniquely, isn't it? Hmm. Okay, then printing, print m minus 1 to m plus 2 if you write, then that may not be middle ones, right? Yeah, only 2. But our requirement is middle 3 characters we wanted to print. That's why we have printed just it is even length. Okay, or middle of the string you have to print means that cannot be generalized. That can be 3 characters, that can be 5 characters, that can be 2 characters. We don't know. So okay, shall we stop? Shall we continue? Good. Okay. On Saturday we will discuss other things. Saturday, what is the schedule for you? Please enter your roll number, online people. Saturday, same schedule. Okay. Okay, Saturday will be the last class before the test. So Friday you are free, right? Friday no classes. Okay, I will intimate in WhatsApp if at all any class is there, online only. Huh? Friday holiday, online class not here. Online class is fine, right? Huh? Huh. Okay, at what time? Okay, after informing you inform me. In the group also you can inform. Yeah, please enter your roll number and can leave.